Hey guys, welcome back to the Cast Spear podcast. This is the last one with Lenny Logsdale at Aquatic Apes on all the socials and especially YouTube. If you haven't seen any of his videos, check him out. He is awesome. And today we're going to cover gear, primarily spearfishing gear and all that jazz. So welcome to the show, Lenny.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
So what are you rocking, man? I know that you're rocking cool new fins. I saw in your video. You got some alchemies. What gear are you using nowadays?
So I'm lucky now. I get to use a lot of fancy gear. It wasn't always that way, but I've got the Garmin watch, alchemy fins. Are people able to watch this video, or is it just me and you watching this?
No, I'm slowly starting to get more videos up on my other podcast channel. So we're gonna have like a Cast Spear podcast on YouTube. So show off that awesome. I thought that was really smart, man. I thought that was so smart to do that.
Oh, the subscribe button?
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. Absolutely.
So these are the alchemy fins. These are actually, alchemy has a couple of types of fins, and these are the S for spearfishings, but these actually aren't those. I don't know if they want me to say this, but whatever. I'm going to say it. These are actually the V3s, which are their proper freediving fins, but they wanted it to have the S for spearfishing because they want to promote those ones. So they're the S for spearfishing ones. But and they do custom stickers on the back, so subscribe to John's channel. I guess you already are already if you're listening to this. But yeah, and then I got an Elio's wetsuit, and I usually use Andre spear guns and Salvamar mask. I think that's all the gear.
Regarding your guns, though, I think you have rollers, you have invert rollers. What do you like? When do you like to use them?
Yeah, my go-to is the carbon fiber. I think it's 120 centimeters. I don't know what it is in inches, but inverted roller. It was just a normal rail gun, but they put the Hermes roller head on the tip of it. And honestly, there's a guy here. His name's Kevin, who has a spearfishing school, Fusion Freedive. And when I was first learning, and he still is, honestly, he's just a wealth of knowledge and really helped me get. So back when I market for a gun, I was just like, just tell me which gun to get. And he said, if you get any gun, you can use both on the reef and blue water for Bali and Indonesia, get this carbon fiber 120 centimeter inverted roller. It's the best all around. And so that's what I just use just because I'm used to it. And
what size shaft Andre are you
makes
using?
Really nice. I don't know. I think maybe 7 millimeters. I'm not totally sure, to be honest.
Is it an enclosed track or is it just an open track?
Open track, yeah.
Dude, honestly, I feel like that is absolutely like the best setup. Like my buddy has one that's similar that he uses. He has an 8mm shaft, so it's actually pretty. He wants it so that he can take down like bigger grouper. But I've been seeing that carbon fiber tube, 120 open track, so you don't have to worry if your shaft's a little bent. But the invert roller just for that ease of loading and that kind of beautiful no recoil. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just like, I want one so bad. All my friends have it. I'm like, I gotta stop being so cheap.
Which gun do you use?
I use kind of like almost that level, but it's the Pathos 95 sniper roller, and it's an aluminum gun.
Okay, yeah.
I generally think that aluminum is more robust because I'm pretty hard on my gear, just because I worked as an engineer in like the aerospace industry, and I just carbon fiber, it's amazingly lightweight, but it also can be kind of a little finicky if you're not super careful with your gear, just because of how it's constructed. So it's like aluminum metal. It's a little bit more robust. I like it. A lot of the stuff that I'm shooting here generally is kind of like grouper hole hunting. You know, you might get some yellowtail. It's a great gun. Like I haven't had any issues with it. The only thing that kind of scares me a little bit is the enclosed track. And I think Ryan also had the same gun, or maybe a little bit longer. But he, like in his first video, he was with the gun. He was showing that he could never hit anything because he had a slightly bent shaft and he didn't know. But that's like, you can get away with it with open tracks a little bit better than enclosed ones. But yeah, that's what I'm using right now. I have also a bunch of different guns, but that's my default.
It's fun to play with new guns. It's so complicated. It's such an interesting science. Like the gun length changes this, and then the thickness of the shaft, but then the thickness of your rubbers, but the tightness of your rubbers, but whether it's a roller or a rail, and it's just like I don't know. The more you learn, the more confused you get. At least me.
But then a part of me is just like, I do like the ease of a traditional. You know, it's like I have
Yeah.
a hot rod spear guns hybrid, which is like a carbon fiber tube, but it's a wood gun, three band, like 120. And I don't know, man. It's like something about, yeah, there's kick, but I know that it's not going to be weird on me. You know, it's like
Yeah. The carbon
point and
inverted
shoot.
roller gets a bit weird sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a little bit annoying.
Sometimes it's
Uh,
complicated on the reload. Just how many
yeah.
bands and how many like pulleys and this and that. You're just like, ah. Like I've had a lot of shots where I'm like, I missed, but the fish is still there, and it's nice to be able to just quickly go click, 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 and then get it off without thinking.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah, not so much of that with the inverted roller. But also, I kind of think that, like, I don't know, maybe if you're in blue water, you need to reload a bit quicker. But, like, often I think that, like, I'm never really, if I'm ever in a position where I need to reload super quickly to go after a fish, I'm probably, like, not relaxing properly. And my dive probably isn't going to be quite as good as it would be. I guess blue water would be an exception to that. But if you're on the reef, um, generally, you're probably not in a position where you need to rush, right?
Yeah,
At least
absolutely.
here.
And then what size wetsuit is good out there? 3 mil?
Yeah, I use a 3 mil. I get a bit warm sometimes, but there's some pretty sharp thermoclines here. So if there is a thermocline, you're happy to have a 3 mil. You might even be slightly chilly. Um, but I used to wear a 1 mil. You're okay with one. I think we're spoiled. I think that it's much colder in the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean in the United States than it is here.
Yeah, I've been rocking when I
What do
first
you
got
wear?
started. I was rocking a 3 mil in summer through winter, and it was pretty brutal. And then I finally got like a 5 mil because I was like, oh, I'm not as young as I used to be. I should probably just be warm and having a fun time. And the
Yeah.
5 mil I think is pretty much perfect for me. Winter, summer, whatever. Even if I get a little hot, it's pretty easy to flush. We do also have some pretty decent thermoclines. But I have a lot of friends who they'll rock 7 mil. Like it gets chilly depending on
Really?
which part of Cali. Because if you go to like Central and NorCal, you're definitely wanting to rock like a 7 almost all the time. It's
Mhm.
just cold. I like to go SoCal primarily down to Baja. So 3 to 5 is good. Mix and match. Like I've been starting to mix and match my like. I might have a 5 mil top but 3 mil pants. You know, get a little
Yeah, okay.
stuff like that.
And do you use the Setma fins? Are they your go-to?
They are, yeah. I have the Setma fins with the S wings. I have softs. I don't, and I use the pranas, but I don't know if I should have gotten mediums. I tend to like the soft just because, or at least I tell myself my ankles don't hurt at the end of the day. You know, it's like I've used them
Hmm.
for, 5 hours of diving or longer down in Baja, and I just know like a lot of my friends who have mediums or stiffs or fiberglass, they're just like, oh, my ankles are just so painful. But I have noticed
Interesting.
at depth, sometimes I wish I had a little bit more thrust. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I'm a heavier dude, so I'm like 165, yeah, around that air, like weight. And I know guys who are less than me, rocking like medium, so I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a trade-off. Like I think there's no question the softer the fin, if you're kicking properly, it's more efficient. Um, but sometimes you have a giant fish on the end of your spear, and sometimes you're deep and you really want to get up a bit quicker. So it is a trade-off. But I love the idea of the Setma fins. I think it's a cool idea. They're super soft, super floppy. It's like they work like a whip, right? Like if you
Yeah.
flick your ankle, it sort of whips it. Apparently, it gives you a bit extra. It looks cool.
Yeah, there's like three
But I
different
went from
models.
the leader.
Oh no,
Sorry, what?
yeah, they have like three different models. I know a lot of guys. If you're long and lengthy, and you do a lot of free diving, the edges are pretty good for that. A lot of guys
Mm,
then use the mantra. It's kind of like if you're still going to do a lot of free
right.
diving, but a lot of spearos use it. I think the piranhas have like a. They're not 100% carbons. I think they're like a carbon fiberglass blend. So I think they're a little bit different profile, but I have no complaints. I'm coming from like Omer Stingray plastics, and then it went straight to carbons, and like the plastics feel like lead bricks, no
They're
thrust.
horrible. Yeah, you can't go back.
Yeah.
I'm coming from leader fins. They were carbon, and it said medium stiffness. My leader fins is more stiff than both of my two Alchemy fins together. And so when I first switched, it was amazing, and it still is. They're so efficient. A good pair of carbon fins really does make sense if you're if you know how to kick properly. But there's
Absolutely.
guys here who spearfish in scuba fins, and the locals don't let it stop them. They'll make their gear work, and they get good fish with whatever gear they have available.
It's so funny, man. It's going back to what we were talking in the other episode where it doesn't matter the gear. Like, honestly, it doesn't matter. It's like, yeah, it can make it a little bit easier. Yeah, it can make it a
Doesn't
little bit
matter.
more enjoyable. But if you love it, you're going to do it. You're going to get better at it. And whatever you have, you're going to catch fish. You're going to make your video. You know what I mean? It's like, don't get stuck in the minutia. Just get out there and do it.
Don't stop doing it. Yeah, don't stop there. You can always upgrade at some point. And if you know how to use the tool, then of course it's better. But like 80% of it is knowing how to do it, and then you can get that extra 20% with fancier gear. But you can't get the 80% with the fancier gear.
Exactly. Is there anything else we should cover? Or is this, we covered it all?
For sure. I don't know. Not that I can think of. It varies the location, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say, did you want to give a shout out to anybody? Alchemy, Andre.
Yeah. I love my sponsor partners, and the people I work with is Alchemy Fins, Elios gave me a wetsuit, Garmin gave me a nice dive computer, and Insta360. If you can afford any camera for action camera, not a DSLR, obviously, the best one might be the Insta360 with the one. I got the cameras beforehand, and I asked them if they did some sponsored work on my channel, and they agreed. But yeah, shout out to those guys. And having said all that, don't buy any of those things if you can't afford them, and just go out and spearfish and buy any camera you can afford. It doesn't matter.
Love it. All right, guys, make sure you go check out Lenny on Aquatic Apes on all the socials. Say what's up to him. And until next time, we'll see you on the next one.